There it is. What's happening, guys? I'm here. We're good. Football's been crazy today, of course. Hopefully, you guys are doing good. Hopefully, you guys are having a good Sunday, decent Sunday out there. Doing the Patreon stream, Patreon member stream. So if you want to take part, hey, become a Patreon or a member. I'm going to send the link out, and anybody who's a member of the channel or a member of the Patreon, come on and have a chat it up for a little bit. But just like since I didn't have a vodka stream on Friday because nephew's 21st birthday, and I thought he was the one that was supposed to get more trash than anybody else. Turns out, yep, I got a little too much wine, whiskey, tequila, a little too much. So it was like one of those things where I was like, Saturday, I had to take my time, and I wanted to do this yesterday, but I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna relax and make sure this hangover goes away. So, anyways, but yeah, we'll do like a little Q&A. So if you guys want to just like ask some questions, or like I said, if you want to come on the stream and ask a question, by all means, subscribe to the Patreon or become a member. So we got Donovan right here. Yeah. Well, I think before I start getting into all this here, I mean, obviously I poured some bourbon. I'm gonna drink one of these two. Yeah. Anyways, but I wanted to raise my glass, my first drink to be to raise it to Matthew Perry. Obviously he passed away yesterday. Very sad stuff. I was going to get food. I was going to get some Chick-fil-A. I was literally driving there when a friend of mine sent me the link, the TMZ link, and Jesus Christ, that one just punched you right in the gut. So yeah, just sucks. 54 years old. So yeah, I wanted my first drink to be to Matthew Perry. When it comes to Matthew Perry, growing up, and when we grow up, we especially I try to be funny. I'm a goofy guy, so you always look up to certain like comedic actors, and when it came to Matthew Perry, he was up there on my list of comedic actors that I looked up to, like Robin Williams, Jim Carrey, Ryan Reynolds, just like those types that have like, just a certain type of personality, fast, witty. And obviously when it comes to Matthew Perry, it was all about, Friends and Chandler. The Chandler character, one of my favorite sitcom characters was him. I used to be called, some people would call me Chandler back in high school because I'm a smart ass, snarky and all that stuff. But ever since I don't know, my mom will watch Friends. I started watching Friends and started watching reruns and just really loved the show. And then of course, when it came to his movies, which I watched 2 of them last night, I watched Fools Rush In, which is a great movie. Him and Selma Hayek, great, fantastic movie, funny movie. And then The Whole Nine Yards with him and Bruce Willis, which I think I like that one better. Like I like it more. Hilarious movie as well. They did a sequel, Whole 10 Yards, which it was an unnecessary sequel, sadly. They didn't need to do a sequel. And there's also a movie that, when it comes to Matthew Perry, that I tell people not to sleep on, is Almost Heroes. Him and Chris Farley. I think it's one of Chris Farley's last movies. It's a dumb movie. It's like a parody type kind of movie about 2 guys trying to beat Lewis and Clark to the Pacific Ocean, but it's hilarious. It's stupid. It's hilarious. It's got some great funny moments. And so I tell people, don't sleep on that movie. It's actually pretty funny if you give it a chance, especially if you like Chris Farley and you like the goofy movie like that. But yeah, it was pretty shocking. It like I said, I looked up to him as a comedic talent, his timing, his wit, his everything. And I know he had his struggles, and it sucks because I know he released his memoir or whatever last year, at the end of last year, which I do want to pick up. He just never really bounced back. That's the sad part, is like he always had his struggles and he never really bounced back from them. And it sucks because you could even watch like the entirety of Friends. You could see his like weight would shift and everything. He always had struggles with addictions and everything. And, it seemed like he was getting a lid on it, and then there was sometimes it didn't feel like he was and everything, and then I always worried that there's something was going to happen, and here we are, 54 years old, jacuzzi. Sounds like something happened to his ticker, which, yeah, I mean, could have been of all the years of abuse, and then it just took him out. So yeah, it was it definitely hit the gut. Definitely hit the gut of him passing away. So yeah, so may he rest in peace. And it's going to be interesting because I don't think any of the Friends crew have released any statements or quotes or anything like that. I haven't seen anything. I've seen other people that have worked with them and were on the show. They've also like talked about that. So anyways, yeah. Perry Dunn, yeah, shocked a lot of us. Definitely shocked a lot of us. Also seems like Snow White pick proved Disney are hip. Yeah, they are. And we'll talk about that. Hello, Miss Nighthawk. Hopefully, yeah. Me and Steph, there's it usually like when we're hanging out and we're about to go to bed, we'll put on Friends. We love Friends, so it definitely yesterday was hard for both of us. But yeah, we watch Friends all the time, reruns on Nick at Night and everything. So yeah, I have actually made it about. Yeah, it's been pretty rough. This one sting. This one really did sting. Yeah, I can't wait for Monarch either, man. Really can't. Found a piece by a friend of mine. It's touching. I found this. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm just doing the Q&A part. Which is your favorite Scream film? I don't know, probably the first one. I remember 1 through 3. I don't really remember 4. And 5 that was a recent one, right? How many are there? I don't know. I'm kind of over it, and I've said that before, but the original always sticks out, but it was a good first it was a good like trilogy at first. Multiverse of vodka streams. There you go. Yeah, rest in peace. Rest in peace. So, now it sucks, man. What's up? What's going on? What's going on, Antonio? Maybe. We'll see. We shall see. What's going on, Stephanie T? Great to see you. I'm sorry. I had to, but, I had to open up the show with that. And then, of course, when we get people on, we'll have some discussions about them. It's so sad. That's right. And you're up in Canada. That's where he's a Canadian. He was yeah. So I'm sure there's some things, yeah, man. Yeah, you're very. Yeah, and that's like I said. Like I said, we like I used to be called that because I do have that snarky type of way about me, I guess you could say. And it's been kind of cool because like last night, today, people have been throwing clips from all his stuff online, and you could see like he was loved, man. He was loved, and it's just like I said, it just sucks when especially when you think about somebody like Robin Williams. Also, I mean, obviously the way he went out was worse because of what he did, but you see this in like comedians, comedic actors. They loved to make people laugh and fill them with joy so much that sometimes they're tortured. They're tortured, and it just sucks that has to be the case sometimes with some of these brilliant minds. And Matthew Perry was just brilliant. His timing and his cadence, his everything, that the way that he would say his lines and certain things were just hilarious. And then like if you watch some of the outtakes from Friends, holy crap, dude was a madman when it came to joking around with people. You hear that report that Chris Munday from Ozark might be? Yeah, I heard about that. That would be good because Ozark, I only watched the first season. I gotta watch the rest of it. But a fantastic show. It's an award-winning show, so that would be a good get there, Jimmy Guns. Obviously, I'm wearing my Green Lantern Corps shirt. If you want to get one, I have it down below in the Film Junkie closet. If you want to get yourself one, obviously I did it in the font of Cops. Yes, I just did that. I don't know why I did that, but yeah. Cool little simple shirt. Love this shirt. The tri-blend, really comfortable. So if you want to get yourself one or get it for somebody else, Christmas is coming. There's already Christmas freaking commercials, man. Already seeing Christmas commercials. Not even Halloween yet. Can we get at least to Halloween before we start seeing Christmas commercials? My God. In like 5 years, they're gonna start playing Christmas commercials after 4th of July. It's like gonna be like, "Yeah, happy birthday, America! All right, let's start talking about Christmas." Jesus Christ, whole 9 years. Yeah, love that movie. I remember going to watch it. Me and my friends, we just went and watched it, and we all loved it. And I used to watch that movie all the time. Such a great movie. I watched both of those last night. Yeah, I know we were talking about that. I know it's good stuff. Just love those two movies. Never watched Friends, but this is pretty sad. Yeah. I mean, I know it's not for everybody, and I know you live down under, so probably wasn't as big there. Rest in peace. Yes, thank you, Walter. Feel like I like him and Bruce Willis the whole 9 yards, and he worked with River Phoenix. Yeah, it sucks, man. I wonder if Bruce Willis might. I mean, I know Bruce Willis is suffering from his illness, which is like God. I was thinking about that last night when I was watching the whole 9 yards. I was like, we got Bruce Willis here. He's no longer going to be acting because he's that dementia thing. I forgot exactly what the disease is called, but it's like a dementia type disease. Amanda Peet. I wonder what became of her. I really liked her. Yeah, she was big for a bit there. There was that show that she was on, like on the CW or whatever the hell, and then yeah, she was in some movies, and then she kind of just fell off. It's interesting. Very sad. Yeah, I know. I mean, people have been. Man, there's a clip that'll really get you like choked up when he was promoting his book, and somebody actually asked him the question, like, what would you want people to remember about you after you die? And it was just like, and it sucks too, because, when it came to like the reunion and all this stuff, a lot of people, I mean, it was noticeable that, he looked a little haggard, like he was still struggling with things, and it sucks because through his ups and downs, through Friends, and you can actually see like the weight changes. At the end of it, he looked so healthy and happy. And then I think he just kind of fell off again and all that. It's just, hey, yeah, he was on Charles in Charge. Yeah. You know what's funny? He was on a TV show. There was a TV pilot before he got Friends. It was called it took place at an airport in the future. It was kind of an interesting concept. It really was a pretty interesting concept, but it had him like running like a department at this airport in the future. So there was like robots, and it was kind of interesting. I remember seeing like a clip of it or something like that, but it was, yeah, he was in, I mean, there's a lot of things that he like showed up, but yeah, he was in an episode of Charles in Charge. What's going on, Jason? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, rest in peace. She does indie movies. Well, that's good. Friends cast is very close, I think. I'm sure. Yeah, I think I'm actually glad that we haven't heard anything from them, because they're not. I know Jennifer Aniston. She posts on Instagram, and I almost said Monica Geller. Courtney Cox. She also posts a lot on Instagram. I don't think they're really on Twitter. It's funny too, because Matthew Perry wasn't exactly on Twitter either. Like he did like promote his book, but he didn't really tweet that much after. And then it's kind of crazy because he tweeted, his last two tweets were like 4 days ago and 2 days ago. And 2 days ago, his very last tweet was talking about perfect movies. And he said Back to the Future, it was a perfect movie. And it was great because Christopher Lloyd retweeted it and, showed his appreciation for Matthew Perry. So that was good. So yeah. Oh yeah. And like, if you go to Nighthawk's, Twitter, like, yeah, we have a picture. We took a selfie. There's like other ones too. We were like literally on the set of Central Perk. Yeah, outside you got the window of Central Perk, and then we actually have a couple of pictures where we're actually sitting on the couches. We also got pictures of on the Big Bang Theory, but see, we had to choose because they're kind of expensive, those pictures. So like we had to choose which ones we want to do, and we're gonna go with the Friends one. Not that against Big Bang, but let's face it, Friends was a better sitcom. Definitely is. Next Rebel Moon trailer. Good question. I'd imagine maybe next month. I don't know. Maybe the big guy will hint at it soon. I don't know. Question is when that R-rated cut's going to come out. But I would not be surprised if we get it. It'll probably be November, I would say. I wonder if it's gonna hopefully it shows up before some movies in theaters. I mean, it'd be pretty sweet to see it in front of the Marvels. I mean, that's like the next big blockbuster that's coming out, even though that movie might not do well at the box office. They're trying, though. Have you seen the latest trailer? Oh, they did that whole thing where it's like, all right, now we gotta like make sure that people remember who this character is, and she was like an Avengers Endgame, and we got to tie it to the whole big thing, even though the Infinity Saga is over. They're like trying to, but I get it. It's a good marketing ploy. Why not? I mean, it's not like she wasn't in there or anything like that. It was kind of funny because I posted about that. When I post things on Twitter, sometimes I'm like, it's like I don't really reveal how I feel about it. I kind of just joke about it. I joke about something, and it's funny to get reactions from people who absolutely hate or want to defend. And I get that in my mentions. It's kind of interesting because I don't think they realize like how I'm just like when I saw that trailer where they're really trying to tie it to Avengers, they even have an Avengers score and everything like that. It's like I see what you're doing and I understand it. I mean, it's understandable. The ticket sales are not looking good when it comes to pre-sale, so why not just release a trailer that ties it to the whole big picture? I don't know if it's gonna work, but I mean, that's what you gotta do. Hey, no one told me life was gonna be this way. All right, 6 in total. I hope I haven't heard anything. I have not heard anything. Best, what's your favorite verse? Probably, what's his name? When Bram Stoker's Dracula. What's his name? I can't even remember his name. Commissioner Gordon. Totally drawing a blank right now, as I do. Stephanie from Matthew Perry's mom was a press secretary of Canadian Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau, who is Justin Trudeau's father. Also, Mim and Justin went to. Wow, that's pretty cool. There you go. There you go. You got some Canadian history right there. I love it. Dear God, this parachute's a knapsack. Yeah, so many great lines. I mean, that's the thing. When it came to Friends, I mean, all the pieces needed to be there, but he just stood out. He stood out. They all had their unique sensibilities, I guess you could say. But he just stood out with his sarcasm and the lines. I mean, when you're quoting lines from that show, I mean, I'm quoting more Chandler lines than anybody else, so. All right. Okay. Let's see. Any more questions here? Let's see. Yeah, I know. There's already it's ridiculous. Although, looking forward to DC Future. Good. I am too. A little worried, but whatever. Yeah, already. And then, of course, we got Mr. Fabian right here who has to just let it be known. Boycott Superman Legacy now. Oh, he added another one. And then make Man of Steel 2. Okay. Because boycotting one Superman movie will make Warner Brothers Discovery make the other one. See, that's the dude's using his noggin here, of course. It really was. That's pretty astounding that Matthew Perry was in every single episode of Friends. Well, yeah, I think they all were pretty much. I don't think there was ever an episode that there wasn't, but yeah. Let's see. Virtual hug. Let's see. Sorry. There will never be another sitcom. And when Friends, yeah, I know. Friends and Seinfeld, two polar opposites. Like they were like I love Seinfeld as well. Like when it came to the 90s, my sitcoms when it came to the 90s were, it was Seinfeld, but I got on to Seinfeld later than I did Friends. And then, of course, I was all about Family Matters, Fresh Prince, Boy Meets World. But, those were like, the TGIF ones. But when it came to like NBC, Seinfeld and Friends were like, and they were so opposite from each other. You had like this likable 6-piece cast right here, very likable. And then you had Seinfeld, very unlikable characters, but that's why you liked them. It was so different. But yeah, heard that Isaac Gonzalez might be a front runner for Wonder Woman. She's not. It's only because you heard that because she responded to James Gunn's picture that he posted on Wonder Woman Day last weekend. She posted this image as the one. So then everybody's suspecting that she's a front runner. There's no like information. It's just kind of funny. And I liked her. I remember when there was talks about Jessica Cruz. I thought she would be a good Jessica Cruz, but maybe Jessica Cruz is pretty young. I don't know how. I mean, I'm not saying that Isa Gonzalez is like old or something like that. She could probably still pull it off, but you know. But yeah, I don't think no. Oh, we have the Big Bang ones too? Okay. I don't know. Gary Oldman. There we go. I couldn't remember his name. I just totally blanked as it happens. They all suck. Who else? Joey. This is why I love Joey. Oh, man. Always with the zingers, man. I tell you, when we were at Full Circle, I was always trying to beat Joey to the zinger, man. It was hard, but I got it in sometimes, but Joey's quick. Joey's quick. Yeah, obviously he's talking about, you know, the question of, you know, which Dracula you prefer. So zing. Cheers, Joey. That's good. Yeah, it totally was. Mannerisms, all that, just freaking great. The question series might be happening. Yeah, I saw that too. I'm going to talk about more of that, some of the rumors out there tomorrow on Film Junkie Live. Rachel was the hottest. Chandler was the funniest. Rest in peace. Yeah. Yeah, apparently there's a new article that said they might be on the final stages. It might be happening. No point to boycott film. Just see what happens. Yeah. There's some person on Twitter that keeps saying that Homelander can beat Superman. Some people just don't get Superman would kick his ass. You know, to each their own, you know? I thought Ross was annoying for a majority of the series, to be honest. Yeah, I think it went like, it was always like Chandler was my favorite, then Phoebe. Phoebe was my second favorite. Love Phoebe. And then it was Joey, and then it was Rachel, then Ron. I actually, the Gellers were like my last least favorite, but I still, they had their ways about them. They had their episodes that were great. Ross was kind of losing his mind towards the end, though. They made Ross a little kooky towards the end. Whenever someone tells me a first world problem, I say, well, what did the police say? Yeah, it's just, yes, I love that. When Ross was like, somebody stole my sandwich at work. Well, what did the police say? Yeah. Eliza would be great as, what do you mean, Isa? Yeah. Brie Larson gave up on playing Miss Marvel. What? On playing Miss Marvel, said she's more fun. Oh, yeah. Well, not Miss Marvel. She's Captain Marvel. Miss Marvel is Kamala. But yeah, no, I'm going to look into that too. I saw that quote. We're going to be, you know, there's things that I'm going to be talking about tomorrow, of course. Do you think they'll make an announcement that the upcoming DC movies will be pushed back? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. To be honest, I mean, like, I think there's going to be some a little bit of delays, but if they were smart, I mean, obviously, it seems like there was more casting that happened before the writer's strike. And I think they probably got most of the main casting already cast, but they couldn't announce it because the strike already happened. And, you know, James Gunn's even said that he's sitting on some more names. So I think we're going to get those names like right after immediately after the thing resolves. So I'm not sure if it will, because even though that the actors couldn't work, everybody else could. Essentially, the writers, it took a little bit, but I think like everyone else were fine. So it doesn't seem like pre-production was not at a halt. They just obviously couldn't film anything, and the actors couldn't be involved with anything. So I think but they probably were. I mean, I know James Gunn was like scouting locations with his VFX supervisor. They were doing all kinds of stuff. So it's not like production was shut down, but you know, there might be some delays, but I think like with some of those, you know, not so much, you know, so. She did a table read with Robert Pattinson for, oh yeah, that's right, she did. That's right. I remember she was going for Catwoman. We were on a break. The funniest part of that is like when Rachel was like, by the way, it's not that common. It doesn't happen to every guy, and it is a big deal. And then, of course, Chandler goes, "Oh, I knew it." And that's just so great. I thought Phoebe, yeah, there was something about her, Lisa Kudrow, man. I crushed on her. And it's like, yeah, there's Monica and Rachel, but I liked, just her goofiness was what I loved about her. Yes, yeah. What's his name, Mr. Lawrence? He keeps on. He's. Let's hope that would be totally smart. I mean, if James Gunn, okay, Keanu Reeves is just he's beloved. Everybody loves Keanu Reeves. John Wick, that franchise is probably. I mean, obviously they're going to do spinoffs, but when it comes to another John Wick, we're probably. I mean, who knows if we'll get another one? I mean, obviously we know how things ended, but there's always that thing where it's like, all right, we could just try to do another one. And obviously they're going to be doing like the ballerina spinoff, and they've done the Continental spinoff, so they could still expand on that world. So it's like, you might as well just, if you already announced this DC Elseworlds, utilize it, man. And if you can get Keanu Reeves 100% back, I mean, it sounds like he wants to do it. And you get like, small budget, and you have an older Constantine, it could work so well. So hopefully James Gunn would be really lucky to have this strike end and be able to start filming Superman Legacy in January. Oh yeah, that's right. He's supposed to be filming, and and if it does end, which it most likely will end soon. It's sounding like that's going to be the case. So, like I said, and he has not been. He's been keeping on going. So I think he's going to be. I think they'll be okay to still meet that January date. Man, that means beginning of next year, we're going to get that Superman costume. The goddamn Twitter is going to be a mess when that happens. James Gunn was going to make more announcements before the strike. Yep. The Monica erasure. She was hot as fuck. Yeah, they were all hot. It's kind of funny because, I mean, there's like, I think it's like, I forgot which season it was, but they all like came back all tanned and trim and everything like that. There's like I don't know if it's like, I don't know which season it is. It might be season 4 or something like that, but it's just kind of funny because it's like they all got hotter as the show went on. That and Matt Reed. Ooh. All right. See you later. Jennifer Aniston always had my heart. Oh yeah. They're all gorgeous. They are gorgeous. All of them are gorgeous. She loves Zach, who is Isa there's old tweet. Okay. It sounds to me like Isa probably will be involved. I don't see her as Wonder Woman. I really hope they go with a more unknown, and I don't know. I just don't see her as Wonder Woman. But I could see her being involved in something. So be interesting who gets to play the Flash in the new DC. DC Elseworld should be good. Just no more Ezra Miller. Can't wait for a Superman costume. Yeah, that costume's gonna be. She definitely did. I mean, Lisa Kudrow really did too. It's like, yeah. So they've all aged pretty well. Yeah. I would say like Courtney Cox, you kind of tell she got some work done, but hey, she's still rocking. Isa Gonzalez is such a lazy casting. She's seemingly up for. I know, right? That's why I was like, "Come on," and I was just like, I don't, man. I'm just, it's just, yeah. I don't like the easy casting unless I was like 100% like on board with that at first. But yeah, when she has been like thrown out there like so many different times. So I'm just like, I just don't know. Yeah. I just don't. I think it's too lazy. It's too lazy. Oh, yeah, I already said that. All right. I love Courtney Cox in the 80s as Michael J. Fox's girlfriend. And, oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, she was on Family Ties for a little bit. And then, yes, she was in Masters of the Universe. That movie is a difficult watch now. It is so bad. It is so bad. So bad. But I loved it as a kid. Dolph Lundgren, man. Dolph Lundgren. I have the power. So good. Thankfully, Courtney Cox removed a lot of. Yeah, I know. See, that's the thing. She was shooting up her lips a little too much, and I think she like finally pulled back on that. But she keeps like, Yeah, she was like shooting up her lips a little too much. Where it was like, no. It's like, why? It's such a way. I've had discussions with people. I'm like, why? What is up with like the lip filler stuff? It's like, it's like it's so noticeable, and I'm like, why? Why even do that? Why even do that? Ugh. Oh yeah, I've heard about the Thor 5. No Taka, which we all assumed. We knew Taka wasn't going to come back. Man, get David Agers. Did I say his name right? Bourbon's already kicking in. Get Eggers in there. That was always my pitch for a director, to make it super serious. They would never go for that. But get him in there. All right, I'm gonna start sending the link. All right. So I'm going to send it to channel members. So if you're a channel member, you want to come on, go for it. So I'm going to send it to channel members and, of course, the Patreon. Let me see. And come on for a little chat. Stream link. Boo, boo, boo. All right. What else we got? Stream like that. Okay. Patreon's weird. There we go. Do that. Let's see. All right, sent out some links. So forward to those. All right. Her and Daddario, she always gets cast too. As Wonder Woman. I don't see her as Wonder Woman. I really don't. She's gorgeous. She's got just like beautiful eyes, just eyes. My eyes are up here. No, she's beautiful, but Master of the Universe was amazing as a kid. Not so much. Yeah, I know. When I was a kid, me and my brother used to watch that movie all the time. And then I remember, I think like a few years ago, I put it on and I'm like, oh my God, this is awful. It is so bad. It is so bad. Ooh, yeah. I'll bring in a little bit. Yeah, you could say, yeah. What happened to Selena Gomez? I don't know. Apparently, like she had an allergic reaction and her boobs got huge. Jesus Christ. It's like every picture that she posts, it's like she has an ass on her chest. Like, what the hell's happening right there? What is it with older celebrities? Yeah, it's not just celebrities. It's 99% of live for. Yeah, it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Bring back. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I wonder what a Thor movie would look like under Peter Jackson. That would be pretty good. I'm pretty sure that would be pretty amazing. I don't want to be negative, but Guns DCU, but I don't see myself getting excited about anything DC related. I hope I'm wrong and it's good, but they have to earn me back. Well, I'm sure that's what they're going for. I'm sure that's what they have. They're realizing that. Touchdown Chargers. It's funny because the quarterback on the Chargers, my nephew who just had his 21st birthday, looks like Justin Herbert. Like almost like they look like. If I posted a picture, which I thought about posting it, we took like a shot at the restaurant. It was me, my nephew, my brother, and my dad. We took a tequila shot. I might post that on my Twitter. But my nephew looks like Justin Herbert, the Chargers quarterback. What's going on, Nicotina? Sword of the Rings. There you go. That's what I love right there. Love it. Love it. I still have to do that. I still have to try to do that shirt, that saying that you came up with, Joey. Still never went back and tried to do that after I accidentally deleted the file, but yeah, I like it. Sword of the Rings. It sounds like Mike Tyson saying, Sword of the Rings. All right, guys, there we go. That was it. And now let's bring on some people here. We got what's going on, Phil?
Thor of the Rings. That's a good one,
So-
Joey.
Right. He's good with the zingers, man. He's always
He's
quick.
he's like our own Chandler.
Right? He really
he's
is.
like our own Chandler. He was like our Chandler during Full Circle.
Dude, I mean, I was trying to out zing him, every now and again. I got some zingers in there quickly, but he's fast. He's quick
That he
draw.
is.
He's quick with those. How you doing today?
Another day, brother. Another day. I had trouble sleeping. And then the news about Matthew Perry. That was just mind blowing, right? Like I was like,
Dude.
whoa, really?
Couldn't believe
Wild.
it. Couldn't believe
Yeah.
it. Couldn't believe it.
Big
Really
same.
just- yeah. I mean, I was like on my way to get food. And then I was just like, I saw that. I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. I was like, no. Like, yeah. It was, I'm like walking into Chick-fil-A. I'm like, I just like wiped tears out of my eyes. I was like, good God. Got my
dude,
sunglasses on.
I had just booted up Arkham City to replay again, and I see the news, and I was like, fuck, what?
Yeah. It's
No
just-
way.
What the heck is happening here? All right. We got Eric. What's happening, sir?
Hey guys. Yeah.
How you doing?
Howdy.
I'm doing pretty good. Figured, well, I don't know if you have any tea for us tonight, but I certainly do.
Oh, do you? You
Yeah.
have literal tea.
Yeah, I got some literal tea, but the big thing about it is what it's in. I'm sure you may have seen the memes of this, right? Yeah, it's the mug shot on the mug.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Hilarious.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
If he wins, would he actually have to run? And would he actually have to run the country from prison?
Probably.
The thing is, like, because people don't
I don't want
realize.
to see that happen. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, because people don't realize this is that even if you're in prison, you could still, in theory, run for president. Because there was a guy years ago, like decades ago, like this communist guy or whatever, but he was running for president while in prison, and he was still on the ballot. But it's like, if that were to happen, if he were arrested, but he wins the election, then he can pardon himself, right?
That's true. Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess so. He
I
has the
suppose so.
power. I don't
Yeah.
know. Can we get somebody else in there and let's stick with these old guys? Hey, we
Hey,
got
Brad.
Brad, what's
Thor
going
of
on,
the
man?
Rings.
Thor of the Rings. You gotta love
You guys
that.
set me up so perfectly for that.
Fuck right.
No,
right,
no.
right on,
Yeah.
dude.
I gotta ask, is he a dad? Because that was an ultimate dad joke.
Am I
Oh,
dead?
Joey?
No.
No, but he's good. He's good at those for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
We,
No,
we
I'm
need
just
like
picturing
we need a Joey segment of just like zingers and dad jokes. I'm sure he's,
He's got him unlocked. Yeah.
not to mention the guy could down a beer in like 2 seconds. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just picturing
he
that-
did it. He did it on the Vodka stream one time, and then I saw it in person, and I was like, Jesus Christ! I mean, he just opens up that gullet and just inhales.
I was on a stream, some months ago. It wasn't beer, it was wine. But I had on a glass and I just gulped it down. So, like, we're about to start the stream, so I just gulped it down. It's like, okay, let's do it. And they're like, Eric?
What's going on, Axel?
Hello, Axel.
Hey Dave, how's everyone doing?
My favorite little Aussie there.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck you, kind. Now we're done.
I got you do a pretty good Australian accent. I have this weird sort of it's this one specific quote. I do it so perfectly, and I'm going to do it right now and see if you can recognize what I'm pulling this from.
Ooh.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North, general of the Felix
Right
Legions,
here.
loyal servant to the true Emperor Marcus Aurelius, father to a murdered son, husband to a
This sounds
murdered
like
wife,
Gladiator.
and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next.
Yeah.
Sounds like Gladiator.
You know,
What
my
the hell
heart,
is that
I love
from?
it.
That's awesome. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, for some
I'm like-
reason, it's like I maybe knowing that Russell Crowe is Australian, it's like I could linking that to Gladiator. I mean, Gladiator is one of my all-time favorite movies, so maybe that's
Oh yeah,
that
Really,
mental
Brad.
connection just assists that.
that was good. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I mean, like, the big movie speech that I know is the whole "you can't handle the truth" speech from Jack Nicholson. But yeah,
Yeah. Oh, it's a classic too. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Because when there are these, like, whenever one of these, like, self-righteous, like, gatekeepers in the Snyder fandom, whatever, try to, like, oust me or you, Dave, or Chris Swanson or anyone, I would say something like, I have neither the time nor the inclination to explain myself to people who rise and sleep under the blanket of the very Snyder Cut that we provide and then question the manner in which we provide it, or something like that. I would rather you just
Let it
say
know.
thank you.
Mm.
Well, there you go.
There it is. There it is. So,
Bill's
but
like,
yeah,
You guys,
one was
before we
the name of
start,
time, too.
do you guys want to see something cool I bought yesterday?
Oh
Okay.
no!
Norman.
Oh no! What is it?
oh,
look at that.
wow.
Whoa!
You're on like a big Star Wars kick right now, aren't you?
I know.
We got Eric's droid shooting at it.
Yeah. Is that one of the classic old school, Vader helmets that you can put on your head and actually does the breathing?
I can put it on my head. I don't know if it does the breathing.
Okay.
I put it on last night and it kind of messed up my neck. I think I gotta
It's funny. I just watched everyone's favorite sequel from the sequel trilogy, Rise of Skywalker.
It's not that bad.
Well,
I saw that in theaters for my birthday when it came out.
I remember when I saw it.
It was a pretty good movie.
I remember when I saw it. Like, I liked it, but I wanted to love it. It's kind of the way I came out.
Yeah,
there you go.
Because like when I saw it, I did appreciate that JJ was trying to repair the damage done by Johnson, and he was even, and it also like he was making a point to like take shots at what Johnson did, but it's like, hey, look, guys, I'm as frustrated about this as you guys are. So, which is why it always frustrates me. I always just like shake my head whenever these like fandom menace types like trash JJ and blame it all on JJ. No. JJ was setting up something pretty good, and then Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy like kind of like yanked the rug out.
Well,
the
for
thing
whatever
that
he was
really
saying,
blows
with those movies was there wasn't good communication within the creative team.
Yeah.
And some people give a lot of shit to the sequel trilogy, saying, "Oh, they should have had it planned out." Well, the original trilogy wasn't really planned out as well.
No.
Like,
People forget that.
Son, and Leia wasn't meant to be Luke's sister.
And
That's why they.
Let's also be clear. Let's also be clear what Eric was saying. It's like JJ, whatever he was playing, it damn sure wasn't his career with DC.
It's in the mystery box.
Oh my god! The thing that really chaps my ass about that movie is like people, not necessarily in our circles, but people who are fans of like Batman v Superman and Zack Snyder's Justice League. They praise the writing of that movie, but then they'll turn around and take a dump on the Rise of Skywalker, and I'm just like, you guys understand? It was written by fucking Chris Terrio. It's like, what are we doing here?
There's even like a scene where a person talks to his dad as a ghost.
Right.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. Actually, that's my favorite scene in Rise of Skywalker is the Han Solo cameo. Actually,
it is really good. It's a good scene. But I think the bad part about it is like they were trying to cram so much. Into like one
two movies in one.
Yeah, it needed to be like another. There needed to be another movie, and I think that it felt like.
And
the first 20 minutes were just going so fast. It was just like it was literally like when they were doing that whole like light speed skipping. It was like, So it was like the whole movie was kind of just like doing. They were just trying to go.
And also, I think the problem with the sequel trilogy was the characters didn't have that team dynamic. Like in the original trilogy, they the first movie they all got along like really well. You could and that's just why, right? Later in Return of the Jedi, they have such good chemistry and when you have the victory celebration at the end. You could just feel that, they're celebrating, and I love that thing, the victory celebration. It's so much better than Yub Nub, whatever the fuck that was.
They set them up in Force Awakens, but then they quickly tried to do the Empire deal where they put Rey off in her own thing to go train with Luke Skywalker, and then they split up Poe and Finn to be with the rebels and whatnot, and then whole second movie
they changed Finn. Like Finn was supposed to be he's Force sensitive, and they really fucked that story up. I mean, that's
Oh, well, listen, Rise of Skywalker. It's like one thing. It's like this was not like this can't have been like a just an organically written thing, in the script. I mean, this had to be a studio mandate where they said when the whole thing when Rey finds out, your parents are nobody by choice. It's like, no, I agree. That was crowbarred in. That was not handled well at all.
Yeah, it was like it really was
so transparent.
Yeah, and the idea that she's a nobody, again, that was Rian Johnson yanking the rug out because, as we know,
and I think that was better than her being related to anyone.
Honestly, she should have been a Kenobi, in my humble opinion.
I always like Kenobi one better. Yeah,
it made a lot of sense for her because
because that was the original plan. especially because like it really just showed that like JJ was doing his research with Star Wars, because we know like if Obi-Wan was her grandfather, then we know who her grandmother was. Yeah, like anyone who's seen Clone Wars does, Duchess Satine and so on.
But who would their child be?
Right. That's where
her alleged nephew, who everyone pointed out looked a lot like a young Obi-Wan.
Yeah. See, this is why I think I've made this point on other streams I've been on. This is more of a me thing, but one thing I'm really looking forward to in Rebel Moon when it comes out, because I wasn't, I don't think anybody here, we were born when Star Wars began or when Star Trek began. So as far as like a sci-fi universe, this being like the opening chapter of it, I'm really looking forward to the fact that I'm going to be there for day one of that.
Right.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, definitely.
We got somebody new joining right now. We got
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome aboard.
What's up?
Another day.
It was pretty good. I filmed some stuff with I don't usually film with my Canon, but I filmed out in a field today, and I lost my SD card enclosure. And we went looking for it, but that's got like 3 SD cards in it. It's real bad.
No. That sucks.
I might be able to find it still, but it was really dark.
Yeah, hopefully. Jeez, that's a
penny
lot
to
of
buy
footage
another
you
one.
probably got on
Yeah.
there. Is that for your short film that you're working on?
Yeah.
Nice. Looking forward to it. I've seen some of the stuff that you posted. I'm like, okay.
It's taking so long.
Yeah. Hey, take your time. Take your time. Nothing wrong with that. It's not like you have a deadline. It's not like, WBD or Disney's breathing down your neck. Get it done. Yeah.
Oh man, listen, everybody. Even because what you were saying about like the report that we might finally be near the end of the SAG strike. This is something that anybody who's been following my streams aside with Mr. William Powell. If it was a vodka stream, we drink to that, obviously. But,
yeah.
Sci-Fi Center, everybody. Listen, this coming calendar year though, that is shot. I mean, they are so they are going to be scrambling to like fill in the blanks on that like nobody's business. And I really feel bad for
release the haircut.
Exactly, and give the Snyder Cut a theater run already.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's that too. Release Zack
I
Snyder's
wouldn't be
Justice League in
surprised
IMAX.
if they decide to consider that. I would not be surprised.
Release the Emerald.
You know what Disney should do? Disney should release the JJ cut of Rise of Skywalker.
You know what scene I really wanted to see from that was Chewie and with Kylo Ren in like his cell. Like,
that would have been something. That would have been nice. I'm not gonna lie. I would have preferred that, and maybe some more Knights of Ren because they did shit fuck all in all 3
They
movies.
just stood around.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude, they like set them up.
Was I the only one who was thinking they were gonna have lightsabers of their own?
Yeah, I mean, we saw it in Force Awakens.
I didn't think that, but I don't know.
I mean, did we not see in the flashback with Force Awakens where like Rey is seeing all these visions? She sees all the Knights of Ren with lightsabers, and where were they?
Were they with lightsabers?
I don't think
Yeah,
so.
they
They
were.
were not with lightsabers. No,
They were not. They were not.
They
They
were
just
not.
had regular swords.
They just had regular weaponry. Yeah, no.
And, I
Right,
think
lava
Rey
sabers
should
in
have
2 months.
had
Come
like
on.
I think Rey should have had like a darker uniform to like, what's it called?
Well, that's just it. Like in The Last Jedi, she had like a gray outfit, and everyone was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, is she gonna be a gray Jedi?" And it's like, I don't know.
That was
about
the whole big thing. Was like, is she a gray? Like that was like the whole
Yeah.
like,
I remember
speculation of like that. I don't know.
And she should have had a double-bladed lightsaber.
Yeah, which is what
Okay,
Cold
that's
War-
all
Talking about like
Fine.
Darth Maul's-
Switchblade
Fine.
lightsaber was pretty cool in that vision. That
Yeah.
was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's seriously, like we all know, you gotta feel like the fact that she had that staff with her, that like everyone was thinking that had to be set up for a double-bladed lightsaber, and Colin Trevorrow was going to give her a double-bladed. So
Yeah.
I have the slightest idea why JJ didn't go for that. I don't know.
I don't know. That movie, Duel of the Fates, just did not sound good at all to me. Like, no.
Really?
Big nope. For
No,
me.
the only thing I
Yeah.
didn't like about that was, Paul Vellum. Like,
Yeah, that was ridiculous, and it was dumb.
I'm like,
was
retconning
stupid.
Darth Plagueis, like that was stupid.
That was
goofy.
It was a dumb
Ted.
decision.
Ted, what is on your forehead?
I was about to ask that myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just-
Qui-Gon.
Just no, and maybe a little bit inspired by Raven, but it's just random makeup. I'm trying different stuff to get ready for
It
Halloween.
looked a little bit to me
Ah,
like
very nice,
Light
very
Stone
nice.
and Vision's forehead.
I know. I was about to say. Some kind of religious thing, maybe. I don't know, but that's cool.
No.
Wait, is anybody dressing up for Halloween at all?
Oh,
I mean,
I
We
just
went
did a
to
trunk
a
or treat
Halloween
yesterday.
party like on Friday where we watched Zombieland and shit, and that was fun.
We had this thing at work where we were like, where there was supposed to be a costume contest, but I left work early that day. But I was dressed like Neo from The Matrix and Resurrections because my hair is like super fucking long. So
Yeah. We also have dress up, but dress up in a way that doesn't interfere with your work. So it's like, so I basically like, because I'm my day job is I'm in the part of the janitor staff at a Walmart. So it's like, okay, so what do? Okay. As a janitor, I've got the cart, I've got a broomstick and all that. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put on a wizard hat and a cape, and that lets me do my work.
But I just did a trunk or treat yesterday. I did this about 2 years ago. I was Nightmare Joker, so I'm going to do that again when I did that yesterday. I did that yesterday. I'm going to do it again when I take my nephew trick or treating on Tuesday.
it's funny. I considered either that or Heath Ledger's nurse outfit from The Dark Knight.
My brother did that. My brother did that.
That's sauce. That's so sauce.
Oh yeah, he was like, this was like, I don't know, it's like 10 years ago or something like that. But he decided, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna do Heath Ledger's Joker, but I'm gonna do the nurse outfit. So he got the nurse. Yeah, it was freaking awesome.
That's
it was
dope.
so cool. Yeah.
Well,
It's cool to take like a character and then do a different version of that character on top of it. I always like that. Like one of these days, I want to do like Ace Ventura, but when he's wearing the tutu and his hair is all, when they go. You
gotta do White Devil Ace
I'm
Ventura.
thinking of doing like as Bully McGuire.
Yeah, Bully McGuire. Yeah, that would be a good one. Yeah, get your hair down.
The perfect thing too about the nurse Joker is that it's the perfect Joker for a COVID situation.
Yes.
Oh,
yes. 100%. Yes.
I got you.
At my work, I don't know if I could get away with that, but
probably not. Yeah,
we'll see. I don't know.
What about you? Are you going to what are you going to dress up as?
I have like a cloak. I was thinking about doing like a Night Sister thing from Ahsoka, but
yeah.
I don't know anymore.
Like when I saw your marking there, I was like, that was the first thing I thought of was Night Sister. I was like, that's ideal.
Good.
I'm thinking of Raven from Teen Titans.
Yeah.
I have a friend, my friend Ashley right now. She's down in Universal Orlando for like the Halloween Horror Nights, whatever it's called. She sent me a few pictures. She's Wednesday right now. She's Wednesday Addams.
Nice.
And she said
they said that Wednesday and Barbie are the top costumes this year. So
I thought
Barbie,
Wednesday
I have no
was
doubt
gonna
that doesn't shock me at all.
Rachel Zegler.
Oh, God.
You know what's funny? I actually saw a much better version of Snow White from Demi Lovato on Instagram. I was like, that should be Snow White.
That's because the cleavage was on point.
Well, I didn't say that, but yeah, Dave's right there.
I mean, that's one of the reasons why it's better. Just saying. But yeah, I saw that picture too, and I was like, "Whoa, okay, Demi."
Well, yeah. So I guess you brought up Snow White. So
So anyway, we're going to be
wonderful
bringing
first
you
picture.
Rachel Zegler.
Oh man.
Yeah,
we could talk about that now. We can because it is very interesting that obviously they and I'll probably talk more about it tomorrow too on Film Junkie Live. But the fact that it's like, all right, so yeah, cheers. So they delayed a year, and it's kind of funny because again, when I make my tweets, sometimes I just kind of go like, well, all right, there's that, and then of course you got people that want to be upset about everything, want to say something, and I'm like, all right. It's because of the SAG-AFTRA. I mean, obviously, I made the joke. I'm like, maybe they are replacing Rachel Zegler because there was that rumor that was going to happen, which was stupid. And I totally was like, I don't believe they're actually going to do that. But I'm saying, but it's not because of the SAG. You don't delay something a year for the SAG-AFTRA strike. You delay it a couple of months. They look like they are retooling the shit out of this movie. And we saw that first image, and there's CGI dwarfs now. What the fuck?
Yeah. And they look Barry Roberts the mecha CGI too, I gotta say.
I tweeted to a coworker where she shared like, oh yeah, these dwarves look horrible. And I tweeted her, it was the gif of the troll from Ernest Scared Stupid. Well, I mean, it's like, look at them, guys.
Here, let me pull up the image right here.
Yeah.
It's just like a lot of people are like, wait a minute, because like they were saying like they weren't going to do dwarves. because it's not politically correct or something. I don't know.
What is that?
They look like Pixar fucking characters around here. Like what? I don't.
Well,
I
that
don't.
guy in the red at the bottom. That's mainly what I was coming from when I or
Is
actually
that
maybe the guy
supposed to
with
be
the beard there.
grumpy?
Yeah,
that Babu
that might be
Frick?
grumpy. Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
he's the only one he's the only one that doesn't have like a little smile on his face. So I'm assuming that's grumpy.
He's not smiling. He doesn't understand.
And they should have had one of these guys sneezing so we know who Sneezy was. And
I
then
know,
one
right?
Guy,
I'm
one guy like
assuming-
snoring so we know who Sleepy is. One guy blushing so we know who Bashful is.
Sleepy
Come on.
Joe.
Dopey's right there, right behind her shoulder, because he always wears the purple hat.
And he's got the big, huge ears. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Is that
And then
Joss
there's-
Whedon on the right?
And is that George R. R. Martin on the left? Sorry, too soon.
Oh, there you go. Yes. Fucking, yeah.
We got Chucklehead Jose here. All the images missing is a Brazzers logo. Oh my god!
Oh,
God damn it!
Oh, of course you had to go
Oh.
there. Oh, now
Oh.
somebody's gonna have to do that. Just put that little logo right there. But
Well, no, this is going to get me because they've delayed this movie a year. I mean, this is going to be like they're going to
Dude.
meme the hell out of this for the next year on Twitter.
they really are. I mean, but like I said, I mean, you don't delay it a year because of just the strike. I mean, obviously there was like, we saw that image, of course, of
That's what Brazzers.
here's the image that we were talking about earlier. Who, hey, there she is. Anyways,
Zing.
Yeah.
there it is.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there you go. So that's what we were talking about. That's why
Nice,
it looks better. Yeah.
You know, as you said, you know, they're holding it back for a year for a reason. I gotta say, it would be so funny if it turns out that they did recast. I just want.
They're not going to do that.
You'd have to.
Well, now here, now,
Do you remember? Because like what I was
let's not
arguing.
forget. Go ahead, Eric.
Because like what I was arguing, like in the questions, you know, on in the stream this week, it's like, wait a minute, Dave, how long did Back to the Future have Eric Stoltz before they recast him? Like, how deep was the movie in production before they had to recast?
They didn't finish it, but I mean,
6
they got like probably
Pretty
like
fucking
throw
close.
away or
It was
something
6
like that.
weeks. It was 6 weeks of shooting. They did 6
Why
weeks.
did they recast him?
Because he wasn't working. He was like the chemistry wasn't there. They wanted Michael J. Fox at first. They wanted Michael J. Fox from the very beginning, but he was doing Family Ties, so he couldn't.
He worked nonstop for like 12 weeks straight once they cast him.
If you watch that movie, you have to realize that Michael J. Fox is running on like 2 hours of sleep and a bunch of coffee
every day.
Yeah.
And there's also
because he would shoot Family Ties during the day and then shoot at night.
That's one of the best jokes in the Flash movie where he says like, oh, in this timeline, let's say Eric Stoltz was.
But of course, you have to be a movie buff to really get that joke, though. But still, I did appreciate it, though.
Yeah, I liked it too.
Yeah, but another example of like a movie being completely redone and reshot. I believe wasn't it World War Z, like completely reshot and refilmed, but then it turned out better.
It was significantly reworked, yeah, and it
Yeah.
did turn out pretty
Just
well.
watched it recently, yeah.
Yeah, so
It's a good movie, and I understand that David Fincher's like, well, we're not going to do the sequel. I'm like, yeah, you don't need it. I mean, it didn't really follow the book, according to people who read the book.
You know,
Oh, it's got nothing to do with the book at all.
Yeah.
That too. Not only that,
Yeah.
but it's funny you mentioned David Fincher because he was talking about how the studio rejected his Spider-Man movie.
Oh yeah,
I love his
Yeah.
response.
Well,
I love his response.
That response was so gold. He was like, they were like, "You don't want to do the origins?" Like, no, it's fucking dumb. That shit cracked me up so much.
See, this is what's hilarious about when it came to like before the comic book genre like really took shape. It's like they were trying to be like, hey, we have these, you know, these great filmmakers, let's throw it at them. And then they're like, they look at it and go, this fucking stuff. I mean, even Aronofsky, like his pitch for Batman.
Look up Cameron's concept for Spider-Man one time.
Yeah. That one's wild.
That was crazy.
That one was wild.
Except it reminds me of Kick-Ass before Kick-Ass.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, like if you're going to give.
Inch away from an R.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you're going to give the franchise to like a big name director, you have to accept that they're probably going to change a lot. Like again, Tim Burton, like he changed the origin story, so it wasn't Joe Chill that killed the Waynes; it was the Joker.
Well,
which a lot of people got mad about that.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, like, Yeah, it was very ballsy of him to do that, and it did make sense in the context of the movie. But still, it's like, okay, that was a choice. And also, like in the first X-Men, the fact that they're all wearing a black leather, and then it's like, what would you prefer, yellow spandex?
Well, it took 23 years, but we finally got it. So
Yeah. I mean, those suits from the first X-Men movie were kind of like Grant Morrison, Frank Quitely inspired, but they just lacked the color. But it was a choice.
Although, like, I will say, like, at the end, remember, like, at the very end of The Wolverine, where he opens the case and there's, like, the classic Wolverine 2. I think, like,
just the deleted scene.
Because Bengal made it look very good. And it made people want, I wish he could wear that, like, in Days of Future Past and all that, but he didn't. But it's still, it's like, the way it looked when he opened the case, it still looked pretty good. Like,
I still maintain that, like, Days of Future Past was probably the best and most Wolverine Hugh Jackman ever looked as Wolverine.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah,
because his suit had like the brown and the blue with a little bit, and he always had the cigar. And he gets off the X-Jet.
He's got the great temples now.
Right. Yeah. Like that was just great. Even though I'm not a fan of Bryan Singer, that's probably the best.
Yeah, it's fine. We can separate the art from the fucking asshole.
Right.
That's what you got to do.
Oh, Bryan
At this
Singer,
point, you're right.
What a character, yeah. What
you got to do.
Yeah, but
apparently he was like non-existent on the set of X-Men Apocalypse. Like that shot. That shows with that movie. My God.
Yeah.
Well, he apparently like. I mean, his shenanigans. I mean, apparently it stretches back like I mean, it's like I'm amazed his career lasted as long as it did because he was pulling this stuff for a long time.
Right
He's
after Usual Suspects,
for sure. Very unstable.
They even made a joke about it.
Isn't his documentary coming out where he defends himself with all the allegations?
He's trying to get that off the ground or something, but it's like
he's trying to make a comeback.
Good luck.
By the way, you mentioned Dave. You mentioned a couple times actually. You've like heard through the grapevine that there is talk about a Snyder Cut documentary being in the works.
I've heard that people have pitched the idea to.
Well, I mean, full disclosure, I've had my ear to the ground a little bit. It's like I've heard stuff to that in myself, and and whoever's and listen, well, I mean, it's not like I don't have names or anything. It's just that but I think everybody was kind of just assuming that's going to happen sooner or later anyway. But listen,
Warner Brothers will cave eventually.
Yeah, whoever is going to make that, if you're watching right now, please take the gloves off on Joss Whedon and Jeff Johns.
Yeah, that's yep, 100%. Take them off.
Which is why it's probably not going to happen for a while. So
that's the bad part, you know. It's like how and then of course they want to get interviews from the entire cast. Right. How much are they going to sing? You know, I've been hoping. I want Ben Affleck to fucking sing. I want Ben Affleck to sing.
Oh, I do too. Yeah.
If the words exit Ben Affleck's mouth, Joss Whedon is a fucking moron, I would laugh my ass off. Yeah. I would laugh so hard.
Well, Ben Affleck is a director, so he might do the documentary.
Oh yeah! Oh, imagine if he did that. Yeah. Jeez. Oh, by the way, I also had this image in my head too, because I mean, obviously they've been wanting to interview Zach himself, and I had this idea that I mean, the way it wraps up, it has one of those like montages saying like, oh, well, this happened, and then these guys went on to do this, et cetera, et cetera. And last thing you see in the documentary before the credits fully start is the interviewer. They're talking to Zach in his office or whatever, and they say, "So Zach, I mean, that stuff you teased at the end. Do you think there's ever a chance that might still happen?" And no words. Just Zach just grins. Cut to black.
There you go. We're gonna get Ted to make him. Ted, we got to do this.
Yes, Ted.
Come together, and we're gonna make it. You're the filmmaker here. Come on.
If I did it, it wouldn't be a documentary. It would be what do you call it? Like what is it when you do like a autobiographical pick? Probably
like a dramatization almost.
Docudrama.
Yeah.
That'll probably happen. I think.
More like akin to Walk the Line or Steve Jobs than like Wikipedia article.
You know, it's funny. Like before the Snyder Cut actually released, I had this idea of doing like a fanboys type of movie where like a couple guys get in a van and they go and try and find that flash drive with the Snyder Cut on it.
Oh, that'll probably that'll probably happen too. If it's like if they did like I think you guys actually were talking about this in the Vodka stream, like right at full circle. It's like
we're talking about fanboys too.
That'd be the perfect thing for fanboys too, because it is such a kind of good parallel to the plot of the original Fanboys.
Yeah, come on.
The boys did a pretty good job at the messy set superhero movie thing.
I agree. Yeah, that was good.
I still haven't watched Gen 2 yet.
Neither have I. I have not seen.
I know. I think I'm going to start it tonight because I've caught up on finally I caught up on Loki, Ahsoka, and yeah. So I'm like,
Well, I think
all right.
the last episode comes out next week. For
Exactly.
Gen V.
Apparently,
Yeah.
like on Wednesday, like we got there's apparently the next Loki episode is going to be insane, and then you got the finale of Gen V, and then of course right after that, Invincible comes back.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I forget, Dave. Were you just like constantly like watching Ahsoka when it came out, or were you just catching up just now?
Well, it was like I was keeping up with it, and then after that great episode 5, I just kind of like didn't catch up because I was like, that episode was so great, it's gonna go down from there, and it kind of did, but. It was like, but it's not, it's still with a overall decent. Let's face it, episode 5 was just
phenomenal.
It was so freaking phenomenal. So I was like, I think I just worried that I'm like, it's not going to, none of the rest of the episodes are going to be as good. And yeah, they weren't, but it was still, I still really enjoyed it. So I still really enjoyed the series as a whole.
I did too, but I still maintain that the best thing of the Disney Star Wars era still has been the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian. That still has been, I think, the peak of Disney Star Wars.
True, but like, and after that, like, Ahsoka season 1 has been like the high point after that. And as far as like people were like very like talking about the low ratings, and it's like, well, I'm kind of with Star Wars Theory here, if y'all are familiar with the channel. And he says, look, it's kind of obvious like why the ratings were relatively low for Ahsoka, because most of the people who would continue with the season were those that were familiar with Ahsoka and these characters from Rebels. Now,
that definitely helped.
You as far as I know, like last time we talked about this, Dave, you said you hadn't really seen Rebels, had you?
No, I hadn't really dove into it. No.
But you still enjoy it because like there's enough in Ahsoka the show so that you know what you need to know. But still, it's like a lot of people were like, "What? This is like a sequel show?" I'll put this off.
Yeah, but I mean the fact that just Hayden Christensen coming back and just killing it.
And in like Obi-Wan, like I rewatched Obi-Wan the series like a few. I think it was last week or the week before. And you know what? I didn't like it at first, but you know what? I like it now. Like, I don't know. People
better to watch the edited version that's condensed down to a movie.
I've never seen it. I haven't seen it. I like the
that's better because
why did people sleep over that show just because it didn't give us fans?
But one thing I really dug in Obi-Wan was when Vader catches Obi-Wan and he kind of drags him slowly across that fire because that's like he's like because evil. You can tell with that he's just relishing his payback with that.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, like
no, I think both the fights that they had were like fantastic, especially when you see when he slices the helmet and you see Anakin, and there was and I know that Steven can go on a whole rant about the whole blue lighting. I get that, but and it's totally warranted. I mean, he's even said it on the Vodka stream on how that whole blue light thing, whatever the heck. But anytime I watch that scene and other things were working very well when it came to like the voice. When it came to the voice
helmet on the screen tonight.
Oh God!
Hey.
No,
don't yell it.
Okay.
I can't breathe in this thing.
I can't breathe.
By the way, if any of you have ever seen any of the behind the scenes for the original Star Wars movie, when we hear David Prowse saying the lines on set, Rick Moranis takes his dark helmet voice from David Prowse. That was his voice.
It's funny. I talked to Steven about that at Full Circle. That was like one of the first conversations we had. Was like I asked him, I was like, "Well, how did you get into Star Wars?" And he told me it wasn't necessarily the movies; it was the behind the scenes making of Star Wars that really got him into the intrigue of it all. So that was a very interesting conversation.
Dude, he likes the technical.
Yeah.
So do I. But he's so technical, obviously, when it comes to like photography and all this stuff, and he's just so smart when it comes to that. All that stuff. So when he brought up the whole blue light thing, I didn't really realize. I was just enjoying the scenes and stuff like that. I'm like, oh my God, this is like it's heart wrenching and stuff like that. And then when he broke it down in his article and everything, I'm like, oh yeah, they did fuck that up.
It's like, no, you know what else?
I learned speaking of that yesterday that the original like Darth Vader helmet. Sorry to interrupt, Dave. I'll probably
no. It's fine.
Here's like that on Darth Vader's like right cheek, it's silver. like and not black. So like not all of it's black. So like and that was
Oh,
Interesting. It's like
I
it's
thought
like
that was like a
C3PO's leg is like silver, which a lot of people
and his
didn't even
arm
realize.
gets red and then
Yeah.
Oh,
And,
Oh,
explanation.
speaking of, well, before I got to make another point before I what's so fresh in my mind when I get to the C3PO in a minute, but talking about technical stuff with Star Wars, one of the things I've always loved. This is it's everybody's favorite movie mistake when the door opens, that one stormtrooper just bonks his forehead on it. It's like, they don't know how to fix that. I just always got such a kick out of the fact that Lucas has left that. It's like, well, we got 6 of them running in. They're not going to notice.
and they redid that again in like with Attack of the Clones with Django.
Oh, that's right. They did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Wow.
Keep the joke going.
And you know that same
when you say
stormtrooper
Lucas
that
left it in, you don't
bumps his
mean
head.
George.
That same stormtrooper who bumps his head is the same stormtrooper that that is mind tricked by Obi-Wan in Tatooine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes
So,
sense.
but you're mentioning a 3PO. It's like again, kind of to take the Grogu comparison a bit. Is Jimmy, the cyborg, and that I'm really anticipating he's going to be. He's what I think, for me personally, at least, I think he's going to be the biggest breakout character because I mean you got Anthony Hopkins voice in it. Yeah,
totally.
he's going to have the antlers, and he's. I get the sense that he's sort of going to be the C3PO equivalent, but he's going to be reworked in a lot of ways. He's going to be. You're going to take away a lot of the timidity of C3PO. He's going to be much more of a warrior.
Yes. That I'm very curious to see Jimmy's story because, I mean, just by the pictures that we've seen, it's like, oh, right, we were seeing different Jimmys here, and he's going to be going through like some changes, like probably more than the other characters, to be honest.
I feel like he kind of is. You know how how Zach has said that this is his Seven Samurai or Magnificent Seven, and in both movies, there's like the old man, the wise old man of the village. Who and at the very end he gives that like moment of wisdom to the surviving to like in the Magnificent Seven, Yul Brynner, Steve McQueen says like only the farmers have won, and in the end Yul Brynner says both movies have the exact same last line. The old man was right. Only the farmers have won. We lost. We always lose. And then they ride off into the sunset. So I feel like. In a way that Jimmy, like yes, he's a droid, but he's like a droid who's seen a lot, and he's talked about, and in the trailer how he's seen everything. So he's got all this insight. He's got like these sad truths that he's going to talk about. I feel like that's his role.
Probably. And Axel, put on your hat.
Darth Pepsi.
Yeah. No, not that hat. Your regular hat.
Your other one. Your regular.
Your regular hat.
That
That's what I was talking about.
now you got to take the whole thing.
This I gotta see.
This could be a whole character, casual Darth Vader, maybe.
Oh,
Hey, come on. That's so freaking
What's up, bro?
Casual Vader.
No.
Casual Batman. Casual Vader.
or put the hood on. Not gonna
Too
fit.
funny. That is too funny.
I just saw
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you
yeah.
had that on. I was like, don't put the helmet on. Put your hat on.
Oh.
That is
Great.
great.
By the way,
That's class.
Huh.
you mentioning a casual Batman there. It's like my favorite. I think the one that made me laugh the hardest whenever you did a casual Batman segment was during the release of Snyder Cut period where you did one video where it was part of the advocacy for it, but you included this one section that said this always really stood out to me. So yeah, release the Snyder Cut, Warner Brothers. But you can leave this. You show up the picture of Cavill as Superman. Yeah, but leave this guy's face like that because I think it's funny.
Yeah. Gotta bring that guy back one of these days.
Yeah.
Don't get choked
Casual
up.
Batman and Darth Pepsi should have coffee one morning.
Yeah.
Hey, this could be a series that we could be coming up with here, Drew. Just saying.
I do have a lot more Pepsi in the fridge.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I've asked this question on this. I don't know if I asked this on the Patreon stream before, but of course, everybody's wondering the whole thing about Kai, which is why is his name
Charlie
escaping
Hunnam.
me? Yeah, Charlie
Charlie
Hunnam's
Hunnam.
character in Rebel Moon.
Will it be?
And of
Will
course,
it be?
with the hood and
Zach's
the Errol Flynn goatee.
Charlie Hunnam, it will be.
I will ask if we get Zach on here. I will ask him.
Do you think he would be on the nose enough to have him fire a bow and arrow in this movie, though?
That would be,
That'd be hilarious.
I'll even bring that up. I'm like, does he shoot a bow and arrow? Come on, tell us.
And if he smirks, that's when we know.
He probably won't say anything. He'll probably just do like,
No. Here's what he's gonna say. He's gonna say this about Charlie. It's like, well, I was thinking this, but by the way, he would be my Green Arrow. But I don't want to spoil anything. Let's just keep it.
Yeah.
And that'll be all over the place. Everybody's gonna be like, it's gonna be.
No, better yet, I'll do you one better. Dave asked the question, and before he says all that, the first thing he says is, "Well, listen."
He does like to say.
I think we're really attuned as a fan of now to when he's leading into a big tease moment or anything like that nature.
Yep.
Because he always does the thing like, let's look. That's what kind of goes into it.
Yeah. I would love that because Charlie Hunnam would probably be a pretty awesome Green Arrow opposite Journey Smollett Bell as Black Canary. Like I'd really love to see them.
I did an article a while back where I said I talked about the one-armed Dark Knight Returns Green Arrow would be so perfect for the Nightmare.
Oh wow, yeah,
well, actually,
you're right.
I think Ethan Hawke would be a good Green Arrow.
Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
He's older, so
yeah, an older one.
And that's how I picture
I guess it really kind of depends on like how old you want Green Arrow to be. Like, do you want him to be like in the same?
I want him to be like the
as
same age
Batfleck,
as,
or like
Affleck.
Yeah, I could see that maybe.
Yeah.
In a wheelchair.
Well, because he has the line to BVS. It's like, do I own this paper or is that the other guy? So he's already did kind of tease that Green Arrow a little bit.
That's what I mean. Okay, yeah, I always
thought that was
assumed that it was Queen. Maybe
I thought it was either Queen or Ted Cord. Like I remember reading somewhere it might have been Ted Cord
because we had that infograph that they
of all the different companies.
It had Cord, and it had Queen, so
yeah,
could be either one. But yeah.
Well, then you ask Zach that, and he'll also say, "Well, listen,
yeah."
I know. I always had like I always imagined like this was before the Snyder Cut even came out, and I was like, wouldn't it be cool if there was like a scene there where Bruce Wayne is meeting with somebody, like, oh yeah, your 1 o'clock meeting is here, and then he walks in and it's Oliver Queen or something like that, and they just set it up, and I was like, imagine if it was Charlie Hunnam, and all of a sudden it just turns around, and you're like, and everybody would instantly go, oh my god, I was like, man, I just always had that. I knew it wasn't gonna happen, but I was like, that would have been just kind of.
But now he's gonna get bombarded with that question so much on the Rebel Moon press tour.
Well, I mean, put it this way: it was fan demand that made our General Swanwick turn out to be Martian Manhunter all along. So,
listen, I'm not entirely convinced he's not pulling our leg on that. I think there might be. I think Zach might have had that planned longer, and the reason I say that is because go and look at when Swanwick first appears in A Man of Steel. The lighting is such he has kind of the Matrix kind of green tint on him. So I think he might
not only that, like Superman.
Superman stares him down. People point out that the stripes. Yeah, people point out that the stripes on his uniform, when put together, they form an X pattern.
Yeah.
I mean, it was always there. I mean, and then there was even like when Superman walks up to the two-way or the one-way mirror, like everybody else backs up and Swanwick doesn't, and they always feel like, because he knows that he can. He's not afraid.
And there's a green tint to him in that scene too.
Yeah.
Not only that, like Superman outright looked at he looked through the glass and saw everyone's anatomy because he tells what is it, Dr. Emil Hamilton? He's like, you've got lightsabers in your pocket.
And that also, at the very end of the movie, that gives new meaning to, like when Swanwick asks him, "Well, what makes you? How do we know that you're going to still be in America's interest?" And then he says, "I don't know, General. I'll just have to." Yeah.
But now it's like if I ever get the chance, I'm going to ask Zach all this, and then that's when he's going to say, "Well, I mean, listen, I want to spoil it."
I like the fan theories.
Be super direct. Sorry, go ahead.
I like the fan theories, and I think when I was like 12 when that movie came out, that's how I found Dave's channel, was from fan theories, just trying to figure stuff out. But I remember I watched that Dark Knight Returns movie as a kid, and the line that Batman has, Superman comes up to him and he says, like, if it's not me, they'll send somebody else. And Batman goes, really? Who do they send after you? And I was always like, oh, Captain Atom. They're going to send Captain Atom after him. But as I grow up, I'm like, oh, that wasn't a reference to anything. It was just that Superman's like the last line of defense was the real line. So like I think some of that stuff is reading into it, especially when, remember, Zach confirmed that that the like wrinkles on Lex's shirt looking like the Superman logo was
I
intentional.
Pick up on that.
There's no way that was intentional.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I remember watching that movie, and like Superman says that line to Batman, like, you know, Batman says, you know, who do they send after you? And I always cheekily thought Captain Marvel.
I can't believe, when he folds, but you're talking about.
Can you breathe now, Droga?
I always do.
Oh, okay.
Well, now,
I thought it was like
you look like you got that Saw 3 bomb around your neck.
No, he's Gil Colson from the Batman because he loves that movie so much.
Oh yeah. Oh, relax.
Is that comfortable?
Yeah, it's pretty comfortable. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, but I just think
But you know, I did want to bring up too is like, I mean, obviously it's been talked about, but the Superman movie pitches, especially we heard from Matthew Vaughn. Phil, I already know you don't like it.
yeah, I'm kind of with Phil there.
Hard
but
pass.
I did want to
Hard
get like,
pass.
everybody else. I wanted to get everybody else's like opinion on what, you know, because there's always this thing of like one of the most difficult. I mean, he is Superman is one of the most difficult characters to write for.
He's not British.
Yeah. And it's like it's because he's Superman. He can do practically anything. So how do you challenge him? And obviously, like there's been, you know, when it comes to different mediums, TV shows have been kind of nailing it more than the movies. But then of course Zach came along, Goyer, and then you know Terrio really challenged it and really just, you know, broke down the character. And that's what we love about it. But then, of course, now you have like, you know, JJ did his version. We heard little aspects of that. Where even and the biggest thing is like Krypton not blowing up. And then Matthew Vaughn goes, yeah, we didn't have a blow up right away, but then eventually it does.
I saw somebody post on Twitter where they said, oh, is that where WB got the idea with Man of Steel, where they asked Goyer, well, you can't destroy a ship because how's he going to get home? That might have planted that idea in their head with that concept. Krypton not exploding initially.
Could be.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Phil on is I mean I think a lot of stuff Matthew Vaughn said. I mean he kind of sounds like he's up his own ass in a lot of ways. So
yeah, I mean like even we see that we saw that when he talked about Star Wars where he says, yeah, Star Wars needs a reboot.
Star Wars needs a reboot. Shut the fuck up. This is why your Superman movie didn't work. Why the movie didn't work? Oh, where's Kingsman 3 at? Yeah, exactly.
Apparently, it's supposed to be coming out. Hopefully, they can bring it back around. Kingsman again. Kingsman 2 had good ideas, but the executions it started off strong and then it just fell off a fucking cliff. Sadly,
Harry Potter meets James Bond. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Harry Potter.
Nice way of what I said. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's where I probably got it from.
Oh no, I called them British fuckboys trying to be Bond, but you know.
Oh yeah, I mean that they are.
Wow.
But as for like, I mean, obviously, it's just, and what I was saying is like, you know, you're dealing with, I mean, essentially, you're dealing with sacred material, you know, and that's the thing. It's like hard to like you could tweak things, but to change, I mean, blowing up is so pivotal to the story. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
Are we
I
talking
mean,
about Star Wars or Superman?
Superman.
Well, I mean,
right,
one Superman pitch I thought was kind of cool was the idea that he has this rivalry with this kind of this superpowered dictator in the Middle East who gets his powers from the Greek gods, and they have this kind of there's this pivotal struggle, and it kind of there's maybe like a shift in the hierarchy of power. That kind of sounded cool to me.
What are you talking about?
Oh right. Yeah, now I get it.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like,
Wait,
yeah.
What was that?
That was Black Adam.
That was the Black Adam.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Dave, I feel like
Why do I not
see what you're.
Yeah, sometimes
I
it's like I'm a little too subtle with my.
No, I got it. When you said
Yeah,
that was like Middle East, I was like, okay, I see where you're going with that. And what were we gonna say, Ted?
I see what you're saying with like, you know, I love Superman, and I know he's got like, you always have to have the inciting incident for a superhero, like where it's the loss that they have to deal with. And so Superman's got the loss of his planet, so he's already like an outsider immigrant story. And then he has his dad dies, and then sometimes his mom dies. So like there's a lot of progression that you do with Superman. So to kind of like time them out further might make more sense. Because I mean, it just makes sense storytelling wise to give yourself more room, especially if you're not super comfortable with Superman, because he's hard to write if you don't know a lot of great villains or how to use a super like powerful character like him.
You know, I think to that point, that's probably why I actually kind of like the pilot to Superman and Lois, because they open it with the death of Martha. She has like an aneurysm and dies in her sleep, and that's ultimately what brings the Kent family back to the Kent farm. I was like, oh fucking okay, here we go. That's brilliant. I like that.
Yeah, I did not think I was going to like Superman and Lois as much as I have. That show has really surprised me.
I did watch it until about the 11th or 12th episode of season 1. Then they brought in like, you know, his brother, and I was like, okay, this is dumb. I can't watch this anymore.
Yeah.
I was very surprised at how much I like My Adventures with Superman.
Yeah,
I love that one.
I caught up with that yesterday, and I'm like,
surprised by
God. Like when, like I hadn't watched the last 3 episodes, and are we all caught up here? Are we all kind of caught up? With
I'm caught up.
I got the gist of it, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just like the way that there's a sequence that happens. I forgot which episode. One of the last
the Mitsipitzik one.
No, it wasn't that one. It was where like, you know, essentially Jor-El plays a significant role, even though he's not really there. It's just the way that they do it. I don't know. It's just kind of cool. Like,
I mean, it's kind of.
And I love the fact that when it comes to Jor-El, he like anytime that he talks to him, he's speaking Kryptonian, so they can't he doesn't understand him. And it's like, you know, when he finds out like there was an invasion at one point when we had a younger Amanda Waller and a younger General Lane, and that's one of the reasons why that they're so worried about Superman. Which I'm like, good. That is like that. I love that backstory. Is like the reason why we're worried about you is because we've seen some shit before. And then it's funny because then Superman is even like yelling at his real father, going, "You try to invade this place, fuck you," kind of thing. But they can't communicate. Where Jor-El could be like, "No, that's not me. It's not me, man." Like that show is like really doing a great job.
I've been loving it. But the one thing that I didn't like about the finale is that it implies that now Clark and Jor-El are not going to talk. Because they're not able to talk because it's all.
I think it'll eventually get there.
Yeah.
Listen, Jor-El on Smallville. Jor-El can be a real dick on Smallville if you haven't seen Smallville. like Jor-El, he's got a whole other side to him on Smallville.
Yeah, I like the way that My Adventures of Superman has done some like reinvention of Superman has been a lot more to my liking than Smallville did. Like the earlier seasons of Smallville I thought were okay, but then when they started doing like Native Americans predicted Superman was going to come down type of stuff, I was like, okay, this is a little racy. I don't know.
That's a little whack. Yeah. I remember when after Smallville ended, they did a comic book run. Like they continued it and they called it like season 11. And then they finally brought in Batman. And I was like, fucking finally. Damn.
Yeah,
that's pretty much why Green Arrow was.
I never got into Smallville like when it came.
That's why Green Arrow was the character that he was, because like it was like we can't get Batman, we'll get Green Arrow.
Yeah. Funny, they did the same exact thing with Arrow. They couldn't do Batman, so they did Green Arrow.
No, I remember
seeing a lot of these DC shows want to do Batman. Like Titans, that you could tell they wanted to do Batman. Yeah. Gotham was sort of Batman, but not really Batman. What else?
Yeah.
So you know why that's the case, though, right?
Yes, because like for way too long, DC had this stupid idea in their heads that there can only be one on-screen version of a character at one time.
Not at all.
Show, they can't have a movie. If there's a movie, they can't have the show.
That's not quite it with Batman. With Batman, the TV rights were tied up with Fox. That's ultimately the reason why.
Yeah, there was this thing like that Aquaman pilot.
With Justin Hartley,
and Ving Rhames.
Like that's why Black Manta couldn't be in like Justice League Unlimited. They just got this knockoff version, Devil Ray.
Devil Ray.
Yeah.
But then they brought him in for Young Justice, and that was a win.
Who is voiced by the guy who would eventually play Black Manta's father in the Aquaman movie.
Yeah.
I mean, if nothing else, at least we're past that now with all the multiverse and Elseworlds, stuff that's.
You still get that with DC, even in the movies. Like it feels like every DC director is really hyper focused on Batman, but then they have to do some other project. Yeah. Like I feel like David Ayer really seemed to want to do more stuff with Batman, but couldn't. Andy Muschietti obviously is obsessed with Batman. Snyder wanted to do Batman. Even the people who pitched Smallville wanted it to be a early Bruce Wayne show. Yeah,
even
but then
James
it became
Wan,
Superman.
like when he was doing Aquaman, someone asked him, like, if you could do any other hero, what would you do? And he was like, well, I'd always like to do like a Batman horror movie. And it's like, that'd be dope.
He'd do an amazing Spawn movie, I bet.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
In fact, I'm putting that out there right now because I mean that's the fact.
Please.
That McFarlane is so kind of hung up.
Who is currently directing the Spawn movie? Like,
it was supposed to be Todd McFarlane.
Yeah,
but then he was like, "No, I'm not going to do it." So they'll find somebody else.
I'm going to make more toys.
Yeah, so how about James Wan would slaughter it with a Spawn movie?
I know they've got the writer from Falcon and Winter Soldier and Captain America 4 writing Spawn. Malcolm Spellman's doing a treatment for it. He's doing the most recent treatment from what I recall.
Yeah.
That movie has just been such in limbo. I mean, before the pandemic was announced, and it was announced that Jamie Foxx is going to be playing him, and it's been just God.
Because I've
interviewed Jeremy Renner also attached to that.
Jeremy Renner was supposed to play. What was that character?
Sam Twitch.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, one of those.
I think
guys.
Twitch.
Yeah.
I think Twitch.
Well, yeah, Renner was attached to it too.
The thing about it is because I've interviewed Michael J. White multiple times, and like one time was right when McFarlane was kind of starting the current wave of we're finally going to get Spawn off the ground. And I asked Mike, and this is in the interview, right? Is that something you want to revisit? And he's like, his response was, he's been saying that since the first one came out. But Mike is definitely very much a doubting Thomas on the new Spawn, at least as far as
I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
And he was. I mean, say what you will about that movie, and there's definitely a lot to say.
The writing was terrible, but him cast as it fine.
Yeah, him as Spawn and Leguizamo as the clown were great.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ, Leguizamo like nailed it. Just fucking the makeup. Everything was like when it came to those two, everything was pretty perfect. When it came to the makeup, whoever did the makeup on both of them, just give them all the awards ever because they fucking nailed it. And both of them nailed the characters.
Yes.
But the writing was fucking horse shit. It was just bad.
The effects are, my God, they have not aged well.
Like, that movie may not be great, but it's also nowhere near the shit pile that people on the internetscape make it out.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Yeah.
There are worse comic book movies out there.
There are,
I might actually watch it tonight.
Well, there's an R-rated cut. There's an R-rated cut that's better,
True.
The effects on Hell, though, they definitely need better effects on Hell for this next one.
Ooh, yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And
And on that note, talking about like Spawn, like while we're like that, kind of leads me to, all the times that they've been talking about Constantine 2. You actually think it's going to happen now?
Yeah, we're thinking. I mean, that's
certainly hope so.
Yes, please.
I mean, I'm like,
because you were kind of about that, Dave.
I am a little doubtful just because I'm like, because with everything, it was mainly an Abdi and Pam DeLuca thing to put out there, and then all of a sudden things changed. But at the same time, I'm like, Keanu Reeves, if you're gonna, if you can get Keanu Reeves, you can have like this Constantine movie. It doesn't need to cost all that much. The budget can be low. It's an Elseworlds movie, and you could build a world within it, and you could do a Justice League Dark that is not within the main timeline.
He's gonna post a video of himself saying, "I'm back as Constantine." And then
I'm thinking I'm back.
Yeah, because I was thinking that. I was thinking way back, like when they first announced that they were thinking of doing it. I thought, like, the perfect thing to do was have as the teaser, like, because Lawrence Fishburne is Perry White, have him like he's interviewing John. And he's like, "Well, are you back, John?"
Yeah,
it's funny. I think about that movie. It's like I think about that. Sorry, Brad. I think about that film and like. You also look at the Batman Part 2, and it's like, yes, that is obviously happening. And to Dave's point, like, yeah, you can do a second Constantine film with Keanu Reeves, not have it be this super high budget film. And it's like you can build out your Elseworlds brand by having a Batman and Keanu Reeves, John Constantine, and it just makes sense. Like,
dude, I didn't even think about this, but they could even like somewhat connect it to the Batman.
Yeah, because I really feel like Robert Pattinson and Keanu Reeves could play off pretty well. I mean, certainly.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
It's like I remember like one thing I shared. This was
make sure I don't.
This was like half joking, this is half joking, half serious when I did this, but I mean, it was right when the Constantine 2 talk started, where Keanu, one thing he said in an interview was something to the effect of, it's like, I knocked on Warner Brothers door every year saying, let's do Constantine 2. And they kept saying no, but they finally said yes. And I tweeted out, it's like, so you mean all we had to do to restore the Snyderverse, just have Keanu Reeves ask them for us?
Dude, he would have made it happen. I remember seeing people made art of showing him as John Constantine in the Nightmare timeline.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, and they used that poster. They used that John Wick poster where he's walking with a dog. With a dog. And I'm like, and it was like that was such a cool poster. I was like, oh my fuck, I want this to happen now. That would have been sweet. If and I wouldn't be surprised if Zach would have probably incorporated if he had to have a John Constantine, just like he said, oh yeah, Reynolds. I would have probably just had him as my Hal Jordan. He would have probably brought back Keanu as his John Constantine.
Hey Zach, are you watching right now? Jotting this idea down,
right?
That'd be.
I hope so. I'll send this to him.
Yeah,
so that's the thing that came to mind. If you really wanted to just completely mindfuck hardcore DC fans in the best way possible, you do Hal Jordan, Ryan Reynolds, John Constantine, Keanu Reeves, and then Ben Affleck's Batfleck all in the same Nightmare film, and it's just this is dream come true. Oh my god!
Well, because I mentioned this on the Four Nerds a while back, where I because Zach has made clear it's the whiteboard we've seen that's he's got the version that's also that the fully up to date one. And I had this idea, when he said, we're going to see The Flash with Deborah when he was doing the Dumb event, I had developed to say, oh, what if he's been watching the other DC movies and kind of jotting down oh, how could I create connective tissue between each of these and really put a bow on it if I got the chance to. And it's plus you add that plus Constantine, it's man, imagine if that really happened. It's just like you said, the best nerd mindfuck ever.
Jesus Christ.
Realize, stop, I can only get so erect.
But it's just at the same time, it's all right. Again, it's all right. I mean, I don't know the logistics when it comes to likeness, but man, obviously, when it comes to Batman '89 comic book and Superman '78, it's they're using the likeness of these actors. It's again, it's you have these things that were teased and put out there, and people are like, oh my god, it's make a Keanu Reeves run and then have it connect with I don't know. With the
since some people may not want it to be a comic, which I understand, but not as a movie. But you guys ever seen those Knights of the Old Republic trailers?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah. They should do it in that style, in that animation, because you can mistake that for live action.
Yeah, that's why I was bringing up a lot the Robert Zemeckis animation style,
Oh no, not that shit.
What I'm getting at is it wouldn't be exactly that, but it's just the fact that
what are they gonna do? Wipe off the old XP computers and start rendering again?
Yeah.
That guy, Mr. Vegas, he's been doing these little shorts of Nightmare stuff. If you haven't seen, that guy is killing it. That guy is doing.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's the last one of the last ones that he did when he had the Flash
throws the kryptonite spear in 300 tribute.
Superman, I was like, whoa, that's so cool. But at the same time, it's if you want that kind of animation, it still costs a bunch of money.
Yeah, of course it's gonna cost money.
But which blows my mind. I don't know how he's doing that.
It's not going to happen. I'm sorry, but it's just not going to happen.
Which really amazes me because I don't know how he's. We're talking about just a fan creating this. They might be 30 seconds long, but it's they're really polished. He's doing a damn good job with those.
Yeah, I think. Well, but the fact of the matter is, and one of the things I was thinking about is that little 30-second clip probably took 2 days to render at least. Yeah. Doing all that, tweaking that, and then of course you have to hit export and render that thing. I don't know what he's working with, but I remember when Chris Dawson when he was doing the Black Suit edition. Yeah. I remember I used to talk to him. I was talking to him frequently, and he was just using a laptop. And he goes, "Yeah, some of these scenes, like these little clips that I'm posting, I have to leave my laptop and just let it render for a day and a half just to do that clip." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's that's why obviously VFX houses they have the top-notch equipment." But it's just it takes so I'm kind of wondering, and I wouldn't be maybe I'll hit up him and see if he wants to talk about some of this stuff. I just wonder how long does it take to craft from start to finish that clip right there where not in the Nightmare timeline Flash throws that kryptonite spear. At how long did that take? Because obviously he modeled it over probably footage of
Justice
of
League.
Justice League
Of
and
300.
300.
Yeah.
Just
And you know, but I'm just like, how long did it take just to craft that from start to finish, from concept to the final product? I'm just wondering how long that actually took, and I'm sure it probably took a bit, because I mean, it looks great, looks crisp, but again, it's like, yeah, I mean, it would be nice too if like we could get the finishing of the Snyderverse story through something like that. I mean, obviously the Unreal Engine stuff and all that. It's just like
check out this channel Screen Culture too if you have it. They're doing a bunch of fake trailers, like fan trailers for stuff like that.
I think I've seen them. Yeah,
those guys are they're getting popular. I mean, they got a pretty good following. So and they've done a pretty good job with
cool. That's what's so cool about it too, and that's what I keep on like stressing. It's like, hey guys, I mean, yeah, you could tweet your hashtags like crazy and start doing all whatever the hell your campaigns, whatever, fine. But at the same time, you got these talented people out there that are making things on their own, and they're putting it out there to like
with like a tenth of the budget it would take.
Exactly,
if that.
Yeah. So it's like support that. Pass it around, give them credit, do all that. It's like I mean, there's so many people that are just that are making cool stuff, and they have the ability to do that. So
and that's what I would just love to hear. Like, I would love to be I'd love to know like what Zach's, because he's got to be seeing a lot of that stuff. So it's like I would love to know like what his reaction to that is.
I know, yeah,
like,
and I want to
kryptonite video or the fake trailer. It's like it's like
I know. If he when he comes back on the Vox stream, I actually want to play that last one, because it's like 2 Zack Snyder films in one.
It's
I want to like show that to him and be like, "What do you think about this?" I don't know if you've seen this. What do you think about this? Maybe he already has, but yeah, it would be pretty sweet.
Well, then he's
what's up, Andre?
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
I mean, we're gonna be wrapping up in 5 minutes, but
I figured you were, but
yeah, I got that. I got fan
I
gotta do. Yeah, but hey, good to see you, buddy.
Good Black Manta there.
That's the no neck Black Manta.
I don't.
Devil Ray.
I don't like that. I don't like that version.
Yeah, he can't turn his head.
I gave
Hey, your voice is like your voice is still coming back, huh?
Yeah, it's still working its way back. So I thought I'd come on here, at least exercise my voice a little bit.
That doesn't sound bad.
Not too.
You got 5
a little
minutes.
Raspy, but not too.
I got 5 minutes.
You got 5 minutes.
I know. I was like, oh, you're showing up now. Like, I got to do Fanimated in 15 minutes. It's all good, dude.
Dave, before I forget, what did you think of the people talking about Hayden Christensen instead of
Spider-Man?
Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man? Yeah.
I think back in
not now,
of
course,
not
but
now.
Yeah.
He can still be a good Peter 4.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I didn't mind it. I thought when people were saying that, I'm like, yeah, he could have been a good Peter Parker back in the the early 2000s.
I don't think he had the energy for it. I mean, I've thought about him and replacing like Grant Gustin's Flash and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man Forever, but like I don't know if he had like the energy, like the youthful energy for it.
Maybe a Harry Osborn.
Oh yeah, that would work.
Yeah, he could have been Harry. Yeah,
You know what? Yeah,
He could have been a good Harry. Yeah.
see that.
Probably
Yeah,
been a better Harry. Yeah.
Hmm.
But that would have been
like
too
that.
much. That's like too on the nose coming
With
from
With how angry he gets.
Anakin. Yeah, like I have repressed anger. I'm mad.
Because Dane DeHaan really
Yeah.
gave me some Anakin vibes when he would.
Yeah.
You're a frog, Spider-Man.
I feel like you could have plugged Hayden Christensen anywhere into like
You probably could.
you could have plugged him in like anywhere to like the Social Network. I feel like he's
Oh wow.
that's
yeah.
totally his movie.
Yeah.
He was in a movie called Awake. That oh my god, that movie
Yeah.
fucked me up, man. It was I don't know if you guys. There was a movie called Awake. It was him and Jessica Alba. He had to go.
Okay,
he had to
I'll
get
watch
heart surgery. He had to get heart surgery. And it's a twisty. It's a good movie.
It's like a thriller. More than
Yeah,
it is like
exactly.
horror.
Yeah, he's dying. Yeah, he's dying because Padme. No, but like I remember watching that in the theater. I started like getting lightheaded because like there's a scene where he's about to get sliced, but he's still awake. That's why it's called Awake. He's awake in his brain, even though he can't move. And right when they're about to slice him, oh dude, I went. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking pass out. Like it fucked me up a little bit. I had to like just like crouch down a little bit, and like. And I remember a friend of mine I was with. I was like, dude, this is like that fucked me up. That fucked me up right there. Like
It's
I was
called
like,
Awake.
Yeah, it's called Awake.
I've
Force
seen
Awakens.
Awakenings, but that's a different movie altogether.
That's
I've seen the Force
that's a
Awakens.
De Niro and Robin
That's a De
Williams.
Niro, yeah. No, that was
Great
really
movie
good.
too, by the way. Excellent
Great movie, but very fucked up. Like
it's fucked up. It's fucked
Yeah,
up
it's fucked
too.
up.
But yeah,
That's
Yeah,
like
it's what people didn't realize, that Hayden Christensen was much better actor than people gave him credit for. Everyone was trashing him for answering in the prequels. It wasn't him. It was
I don't know about that. Look, he's
actually
good
pretty
in
good at
certain
Jumper.
roles.
Maybe hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
Well,
Eric
he's
made
good
the
in certain
mistake of
roles.
watching Star Wars when Andre was here.
I know. No, I liked him as Anakin Skywalker because he came across as very.
There's a phone coming,
Even his
Annie.
portrayal was like awkward and uncomfortable. And I don't know if he meant it to be that way, but to me, it played off really well that he was just this kid who was fucked up to begin with, and then had to live up to these high expectations after getting rejected by the Jedi Council. So it's like he's already has all these scars, and so for me, it worked. But like in Jumper, I thought he did pretty well. But like everything else, I don't know, he kind of overacts, or you know, he kind of he has this weird way about himself, kind of like a Jai Courtney. Where besides Suicide Squad, like he kind of overacts in a lot of things he does.
Terminator Genesis.
Oh God,
Genesis or
why the fuck did they call
Divergent?
I'm a lot kinder to Genesis than a lot of people. But even I'll say it's like I don't get a Michael Bean vibe. From
Yeah, they totally fucked that. I was like, how did you get
yeah.
Jai Courtney from Michael Bean? Like there's like no resemblance, no nothing. Like
guy who
they had a
played
dead
him-
writer for Linda Hamilton with Emilia Clarke.
Yeah,
but
was
even
fine.
that though, but
That
even
made
that,
sense.
I mean, she was hotter.
That
than
made
she was
more
tougher,
sense than
you know?
Jai Courtney, but it was still
Yeah.
kind of like you're replacing.
just awkward,
it just was weird.
What's
They
his name?
tried, and I thought it was kind of cool, but yeah.
Anton, whatever his name was, the guy who
Fuck.
died.
Yeah, he
Who
was a
knows?
better
Anton
Mike. He was a better.
He was spot on.
better Kyle Week. What about Kyle Week?
Kyle Week.
Antoine Yelkin.
He was
Anthony
really good.
Yeah.
I did not expect him to do that good as Kyle Reese or as Chekhov in Star Trek. He did a really good job. Unfortunately, he died. So
Yeah, very tragic. Yeah.
May he rest in peace too. But he was a good caller. Even though, like, you know, when it came to that movie frustrates me because they really had something there, but you had
they
Mick
did.
fucking G that would, like, you know, put his little flavor on it.
Apparently
right
he's got
elements.
a Snyder cut or a McG cut. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
I mean, like you've been saying, Dave, it was like the only Terminator after Terminator 2 that didn't like pretty much spit in the face of the first two.
True.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah.
Because
Yeah,
all the others, look, Terminator 2 ends with Arnold like sacrificing himself so that that future will never happen. And then right after that you get Terminator 3 and you get Genesis and you especially get Dark Fate, which really spits in the face at the end of 2.
Alien 3 is John Connor. Yeah.
God, dude. I could not believe that when I remember turning to my brother and go, like, they really just shit on the whole legacy of Terminator.
And the ironic part is like
just really
James
shit
Cameron
on it.
totally signed off on all of that too.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he was like, let's do
God.
it.
Speaking of Terminator, because I just had an article go up on the Screen Rant because I had Sleepy Hollow on, Tim Burton Sleepy Hollow on a few days ago.
Love
for
that
Halloween.
movie.
Yeah, I did too.
Good movie.
And this just jumped out at me when I was seeing that the way they showed the Headless Horseman, that they make him into a Terminator in that. Because think about it, he's set on these programmed assassinations. He's turned into this unstoppable killing machine. It's like he's not going to attack you or kill you unless you're attacking him. So it's like Sleepy Hollow. It's like this Trojan horse kind of Terminator movie.
More or less, yeah.
Well, I mean, the same thing they did to the Headless Horseman. I forgot his name.
Christopher Walken.
The same thing they did to him, making him like a Terminator, was the same thing that they did with. I lost my train of thought. Damn it! I was thinking about that damn
Train
name.
wreck.
Yeah.
I know it really was.
It happens. But yeah, we're gonna have to wrap this up because I'm gonna talk some Superman with Mr. Scott McClellan. But I do appreciate you guys coming on and of course supporting the channel as per usual. So we'll go around the horn, and if people have something to promote, everybody just promote all your stuff. We'll start with Phil Skywalker.
Well, thanks again, Dave. It's always a blast getting to chat with my fellow patrons here. It's always a blast getting to talk to you about anything and everything nerd. You guys can catch me and Andre on the Four Nerds every Wednesday, even though we didn't have a show last week. You can listen to my podcast, The Eternal Night, wherever you get your podcast fix. And I was supposed to start the DC United stream, but I've pushed it back, so I'm still trying to finalize a bit of an ending capper thing for when streams end. No, push it back to November 17th this year. Thank you.
Oh,
just
perfect.
Lost your fucking invite, Axel. No, I'm kidding. But yeah,
asshole. Just kidding.
But yeah, no, that's the date I'm shooting for to have the first DC United stream. So keep an eye out for that. Other than that, I'm out on Twitter and everywhere else, just at Unfiltered.
There you go, Eric.
All right. Well, you can catch me. I'm writing a weekly articles. Like, actually, I'm sort of rewriting it, but it's like there was when I wrote for a website like years ago. I had this like series of articles on movies, but now they're being like but now I've been able to like repost them on a news site, American Daily Press. And so now so right now I have my articles on Rio Bravo. It's a John Wayne Western. My article on Man of Steel. So be sure to check that out, folks. Inglorious Bastards and Fight Club. There's an art. My next article is coming up this week. And you can follow me on Twitter at Hardboiled Films and on YouTube at Hardboiled Entertainment.
There you go. Tet.
Hey, you can watch my YouTube channel, Tet Pink. I make videos about stuff that's interesting, and I got a movie out hopefully before December 15th, but we'll see.
All right. Sounds good. Darth Pepsi.
Fuck, I forgot. Yeah, you can find me at Droga52 on YouTube. I haven't been doing much there, but you can catch me on Twitter via Axel R Droga, and you'll see me posting some stuff about Infinitude Warfare, which is my Star Wars DC.
He froze.
And,
You gotta think about it.
Is he still frozen?
Yes. We'll hear all the.
Oh,
there
you're
we go.
good. Yeah,
he
he
froze
glitched
again.
for a minute
He's
there.
still
all right,
frozen.
a techno union. Okay, so yeah, you can find me there. Thanks for having me on, Dave.
Yeah, no problem. And then Thor to the Rings.
Yeah, you can you can't find me at Lord of the Rings. Of course, my real name. You can find me on. You can find me on Twitter and Vero, occasionally on Facebook. You can find my writing on Kung Fu Kingdom and on Screen Rant, and also you can see me Saturday nights on the Sci-Fi Center live, and also now I drop in a fair amount during the week now. So yeah, check out all my thoughts and everything, and from DC stuff to Thor of the Rings.
There you go. All right, Andre.
You can find me at the Nicotina Show on YouTube or on Twitter. I'm also on Vero as well and Instagram. I'm gonna totally do this. I'm gonna leave my link in the wherever in the chat. But yeah, subscribe to my channel. I have a new video I'm working on tonight. Well, I'm gonna try to at least. It's a Gen V video, so it should be pretty cool. I'm really into that show. I think it's really good.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, that Andre guy left a good impression on me. I'm going to go follow him right now.
Oh,
Hey,
right.
there it
Hey, we got a new member.
Nice.
There you go. That's what we do. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for supporting the channel, and anybody else who wants to do it, like the Patreon's there, members, but just subscribing. That's all I ask for. Just watching. That's it. That's all we ask for right there. Anyways, guys, we love you. We'll talk to you guys later.
Yep.